Craig. This question is related to belief in God being properly basic. How would you answer the objection from people who want to claim properly basic status for beliefs that we would think are false, such as they believe that they've encountered aliens or genies, and thus they've experienced this, and their belief is grounded in experience as properly basic?
Right. Well, we do encounter this situation with people who are members of other religions. The Muslim might claim to have an experience of God that is self-authenticating, and therefore he knows Allah is the true God. Or the Mormon says he has a burning in the bosom when he reads the Book of Mormon, and therefore he knows that Mormon polytheism is true. And I think what's important to see is that false claims to properly basic beliefs doesn't do anything to invalidate the truth of a true claim to a properly basic belief. If you had several bottles containing a clear liquid, and they were all labeled H2O, but only one of them had water in it, and the others had poison, the fact that the other bottles carried false labels would do nothing to affect the truth of the label that is on the actual bottle of water. And in a similar way, false claims to properly basic beliefs doesn't do anything to logically invalidate a genuine experience of God and a genuine properly basic belief. Now, what that would mean, though, if you're confronted with a person like this, is you need to try to find some way to convince that other person that, in fact, his belief is not properly basic, and that he is kidding himself, or he's fooled. And, of course, he'll try to convince you of the same thing. And so what you'll try to do is find some common ground on which you can argue, like these arguments and evidence that I've given tonight, which would be incompatible with his experience and would therefore constitute a defeater of that experience. So you will try to bring defeaters to his view to show that, in fact, his experience is not genuine, but is in some way incorrect or counterfeit or distorted or something of that sort, or incomplete. And therefore, you don't reach just an impasse with such a person. You begin to then argue about the evidence and the arguments for your respective worldviews. And the hope is, of course, that because this person is just having a psychological experience rather than a genuine experience of God's self-authenticating spirit, that will crack under the weight of the evidence, and he will change his mind. Now, he's, of course, hoping that the same will happen to you, but if you do have a genuine veridical experience of God, then that shouldn't happen with you, and you may be able to bring that other person to your point of view.